Okay. All right. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here, either in person or with us virtually. We definitely appreciate the support. My name is Lanisha Whittington. I serve as the president of Democracy Green and also serve as the Environmental Justice and Equity Advisory Board member for the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality. And I'm speaking on behalf of the board. We're very excited to represent, as we have been in community for several years, but definitely with a hyper focus on Brunswick County, which we know is the #1 county in the nation for PFAS contamination and #1 in the nation for all cancer deaths related to PFAS exposure. The reason we are here today, you will hear from courageous individuals. That's why we're actually in the front yard of a community, a historically Black community known as Johnsontown. And we're very grateful for Ms. Evelyn for allowing us to humanize the issue of water contamination, and specifically PFAS, which we know are thousands, hundreds of thousands of chemicals that science is still trying to catch up to. And we understand that these communities, environmental justice and climate justice communities, have dealt with legacy PFAS for decades. Chemours wasn't the first. But the issue today that we are standing against is the fact that Chemours did, and we know, dump PFAS chemicals into the Cape Fear River Basin, which has made its way to Brunswick County. And now it is on the tipping point because the legacy PFAS has already been here from other corporations. There's a landfill, and Ms. Evelyn will talk about a little bit, that's very close to this community, that Chemours adding PFAS is just tipping the scale. And we are seeing communities such as Brunswick County dealing with cancer, rare cancers, kidney issues, dialysis. We're seeing issues come up. And we're standing today against the threat of 4 million pounds of toxic waste containing GenX that is supposed to make its way, if Chemours gets its way, it'll make its way here, again, to Southeastern North Carolina. And our communities like Brunswick County, they already shoulder the burden of pollution, and they have for generations. And this might just be too much for the community to have to continue to shoulder much further. And so I'll pause here, and I want to make sure that I am introducing who you see here, and then I'll pass the mic to my fellow colleagues, partners, and communities. Beside me is Ms. Evelyn Johnson, a community member that has been a powerful representative as we've conducted workshops and has stood up for her community, which is why we're here today in her front yard. Thank you again. And is also, we consider a member of the Brunswick County Stewards of the Environment. You'll see after Ms. Evelyn's comments, we'll hear from Democracy Coordinator, Democracy Green's Coordinator for Brunswick County and Southeast, Ken Mitchell, who will then give comment on behalf of his hometown here, Brunswick County. We'll then hear from first Vice President of the state conferences of the NAACP, Courtney Patterson, and then who will conclude us today is the Executive Director of Democracy Green, Ms. Sonia Whittington. And then we will take any questions from the great people who've joined us today and folks that are joining us virtually. And so, Ms. Evelyn, I'll pass it to you.
Thank you. I am Evelyn Johnson. I am a resident of this community, Johnsontown. Prior to attending workshops and fully understanding, becoming educated about what is actually in our drinking water, I did not realize that we were slowly being killed because of the chemicals in our water. Here in my hand is a glass of water taken from my sink that I no longer drink from. When you look at it, it's clear. That's the problem. You don't see what is happening. Yet we are suffering the results of it. When my water was tested, I could not believe just how high the levels of PFAS was in my water. When my water was tested, all these other chemicals that were found in my water that we were ingesting. Then to find that one of the first county landfills is less than a half a mile in this direction from where I live. And yet nobody had bothered to tell us, nobody had bothered to offer us any information or any means to remediate this. For years, I asked for county water and was told that the county is not doing any new areas at this time, yet I see other areas getting water. Then I was told that if I wanted water, I would have to pay for a main line to come down here at $54,000 that I could not afford. And then finally, I was told that even if they brought it, they would only bring it as far as where the pavement ended, still leaving us without an opportunity to have what is a God-given right, and that is clean water. I would invite any of you all to have a drink, not only from this glass, but bring your jugs. You can fill them up from my kitchen sink. And so I want to thank Democracy Green for the work that they are doing, because it is not fair that we continue to get dumped on. And then the thought that they're going to bring in additional waste to add to what they're already not treating and taking care of. I mean, if you want us gone, there's a quicker way to get rid of us. You know, because you're slowly killing us now. When you look around the communities where this stuff is being dumped, where this stuff is being affected. I'm on well water. I understand that. And I understand that they're doing things for people who are on county water or on municipal water. But we're affected more than they are, because at least they're getting some type of treatment. We're not getting any. We didn't put the chemicals in the ground. You know, we didn't put them in there. I can't go and build a treatment center or system here to treat this community. There are 10 houses of people that are living on this road, you know, and they're all suffering from various illnesses that perhaps they would not have had to suffer from had we known, you know, all of this. My brother next door is on dialysis. My husband is fighting a stage 3 kidney disease. You know, I'm going for testing tomorrow. I was at the doctor yesterday and see the long list of testing there now have determined that I've got to have. You know, when does it stop? And all we're asking for is that Chemours be held accountable, and everybody else that's bringing it in or trying to allow it to come in, that they be held accountable. It is time out that we are the dumping ground for everybody else. And you're bringing it all the way from another country.
Come on.
Yes. If it's so safe, why aren't they dumping it over there?
Come on.
I guarantee you they won't let the United States carry any over there and dump it.
Yes.
And that's my concern. You know,
That's right.
that is my concern. When is it going to stop?
Yes.
You know, when is it going to stop? Again, Democracy Green, thank you for the work that you're doing, you know, to help people become more aware of what is actually happening, you know, to them. A lot of these unexplained illnesses that we are dealing with. And I'm standing here on behalf of my community and other communities like me, you know, trying to seek some relief, you know, for this issue, for this problem. And I do appreciate the opportunity today to let my voice be heard. And today is not the only day that I intend for my voice to be heard. And again, I invite anybody that's listening to come to 2480 Floyd Road and have a drink of water from my faucet.
Right.
Because that is what I've been forced to have to live with. That I have had to be forced to drink
Come on.
for the last 46 years.
Yeah.
I invite you to come. You may take as much of it as you can carry. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was powerful.
Yeah.
Yes. My name is Ken Mitchell. I'm with Democracy Green. I'm Community Outreach Coordinator, and I'm also President of Brunswick County Stewards for the Environment. First and foremost, I'd like to say thank you to Democracy Green for bringing the knowledge and education to my community. I'm born and raised in Supply, North Carolina, and that's a small community in Brunswick County. And, you know, Brunswick County is one of the fastest growing communities in the United States. But I constantly wonder if people know that, you know, that they're moving here and, you know, they're coming here for the beach and for it to be close to everything, that they know that they're moving to a place that's constantly being poisoned. Because I know when Democracy Green brought this information to me about PFAS and about the effects on the human body, I started thinking about my late grandmother, Lizzie Mitchell, and about how when we were in the hospital, the doctor was coming and saying she had a rare blood disease and didn't really understand where it was coming from, and saying that less than 1% of people in America were being impacted. And I was wondering, well, how in the world did it find my nana all the way down in Supply, North Carolina? And I watched the cancer eat away at her body, and rest her soul. I'm glad she's able to rest in paradise now, but during the time it was so painful and I just didn't understand why. I was trying to figure out if it was something that we were eating, or I was trying to figure out if it was just something that we were doing, but we were just being poisoned. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to spread the knowledge, so that way we can make sure that, one, we can be educated in community, right? Because that's the first step, is just knowing. But also we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's right. We're not going to continue to put up with being dumped, right? Because my people are not a landfill. My people are not a polluting center. So we are extremely grateful for Democracy Green, and we know that the more people that are aware, something has to be done. So we're urging people to get educated. We're urging people to stand up, because this simply isn't right.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you. And first of all, I'd like to start by giving my appreciation to Democracy Green for opening up this community and allowing them to see what is happening to them and what is causing those health issues with them. We, the BIPOC community and state leaders, are standing against the intended threats of the Chemours attempting to dump over 4 million more pounds of GenX in lace toxic waste in Southeastern North Carolina. Their continued targeting of Eastern North Carolina, the area with the largest Black, Indigenous, and people of color communities, populations in the state, is strategically attacked against Blacks, brown, and low wealth populations, which they believe they are invincible, but we're not. We are supporting the United States Environmental Protection Agency's recent decision to temporarily reverse decisions of Chemours dumping on our homes, and where we're calling for a permanent reversal. No more GenX.
No more GenX. No more. Truly, we stand in this place today and thankful for everyone that is here and is viewing in. My name is Sonia Whittington, and I am the Executive Director for Democracy Green. I'm appreciative to the people that have stood up for themselves and said enough is enough. What's so powerful about Miss Evelyn's testimony is our workshop, we say clean water is safe water. That glass of water looked clean, but it is not safe. Democracy Green, with the support that we have, was able to test the water, the drinking water of Miss Evelyn. Several residents on this road and found that they have extremely high levels of PFAS. So we not only know that it's not safe just from just conversation, but we have the data to prove it. And we are looking at a cumulative impact on our communities throughout the nation. We have communities that's dealing with CAFOs, right, and the byproducts of CAFOs, right, in the air and in the water. We're looking at communities that are dealing with wood pellets, yes, and coal ash. Yes. We're looking at communities that are dealing with all kinds of contamination. And we've got Chemours wanting to come in and dump more. Absolutely not. That's right. We are in community asking folks, do you know what's in your water? And most of them are telling us, no, we do not. That is egregious. That in the UK, that they can read in their papers that Brunswick County is #1 in the nation for PFAS contamination. And we are speaking to people that don't even know that they are drinking a tall glass of nasty every single day. Yes. A tall glass of nasty with lunch, dinner, and breakfast every single day and don't know it. Yes. It's outrageous.
We should have the right to know what's going on. And that's what Democracy Green is going to do, is make sure that the people know, because they have the right to know what is in their water. They have the right to come out and stand up and say that we won't take it anymore. We've had enough. And as we stand in the gap and elevate so many of our communities that are fighting for their lives, we have to stand against Chemours and say no.
More.
We have to say no more.
More.
No more dumping. No more dumping.
No more dumping.
In our communities.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, each of you. Thank you, Ms. Sonia. I also want to recognize members of Brunswick County. We consider them stewards of the environment, the Brunswick County stewards of the environment, as you see, that have come out to different workshops, that have protested for their homes, who have gone through lead and PFAS testing that Democracy Green has provided. They're standing here, fearless in the face of adversity, fearless in the face of a giant, because that's what Chemours is. It is a giant, and this is definitely a David and Goliath story. And we all know who won.
David.
That's right. And so what we are asking for as we go into questions is our call to action today. First Vice President Patterson stated, Executive Director Ms. Sonia stated it. We are supporting the EPA, U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, and the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality as they are assessing how to change from temporary, right? They have temporarily stopped Chemours, but we are supporting the permanent reversal and urging them to continue to find the statutory, the regulatory framework, or the whatever they need from our communities, whether that's cumulative impact, whether that's intersection, whatever can stop. We are supporting what the EPA has already done, and we're asking them to continue to go a step further. And that further is no to 4 million pounds of GenX. We've also conducted a petition that we have from environmental justice and climate justice leaders in Eastern North Carolina. And we have had great support from various national organizations that have also believed in our cause, and other folks from over 7 states. And we will be delivering this petition to the appropriate persons at the US EPA, including Administrator Regan, and also Deputy Secretary Assistant, I believe it's Cliff. We'll be sending the petition to both of them at the conclusion of this press conference. And so right now, you've heard our call to action: no more to Chemours.
No more.
No more.
No more
No more
to
to
Chemours.
No more
No more
to Chemours.
to Chemours.
That's right, because we matter. And so at this time, I'll take any questions from press that is with us today. And of course, if we see anything on virtually, but I definitely want to open up the space for any questions.
I don't have my mic hooked up right now, so I have to catch you after when I hook you up.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't have any questions right now.
Okay. Well, thank you again for attending our Stop Chemours press conference. As you see the signs, and we will be counting on you to spread the word and to stand in solidarity with these fearless leaders who are standing on the front lines of justice for their communities. Thank you.
And I still invite you in to have a glass of water.
All right. Great.